Today on Tuff Trax, Carolina Crusher is cleared for takeoff. The Outlaw makes a last stand against the hard-driving Andy Brass and Bigfoot. Stay right where you are. Welcome to Tuff Trax. I'm Scott Douglas with Army Armstrong. Chris Chapman will join us in a minute, and we're back at Louisville Motor Speedway in Louisville, Kentucky, where 1 week ago some of the wildest racing we've ever seen on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge took place. And the guy who was really putting on the show and who was the big story was a fella who frankly didn't want to drive the truck he had here. Andy Brass made Bigfoot 4 talk on this figure 8 course.
Last week, Scott, it was a game of numbers. Bigfoot 4, remember, that's a 7-year-old truck. A lot of controversy started in Dallas 2 weeks ago. The truck that they were running was outlawed. Andy Brass made the statement, I would love nothing more than to come back and beat these guys with the old truck. And Scott, last night, he literally came that close to doing it.
In the run against Carolina Crusher in the semifinals, I don't think I've ever seen anybody in monster truck racing make up that big a deficit in one race.
He was well over a half track behind us. And after the run, during a driver interview, I remember looking at the camera saying, that was the best monster truck race I've ever seen. Then came the next race, which was the final. So that was last week. These guys have got a handle on the track. I'm looking literally for the people in Louisville to buy a ticket today to watch a war.
You know, I was talking to some of the drivers off camera before we went on, and they talked about being a little bit scared of this course. They say, hey, you can see the faces of the people in the crowd. But Andy Brass is not scared of this race course.
He's not afraid of the course at all, and that is something that the drivers are talking to me about. You got to remember, like you said, it's the longest course they run. They're turning left, they're turning right. And last week's winner told me in an interview later on, he said, Army, he said, when I was flying through the air, I thought the Bigfoot was going to literally land right on top of me. Now, it doesn't get any tighter than that.
It doesn't get any wilder, and it is a rough race course. Let's go down to Chris Chapman on the track, who's got more on this course itself.
That's right, Scott. There was a lot of breakage here in Louisville, Kentucky last week. Why? The drivers attribute it to these ramps. They say that the incline was so steep that it was shooting them straight into the air, resulting in a lot of breakage. For instance, we had many drive shafts broken, and the Clydesdale, he lost his back wheel. Now, what TNT wants to do to remedy this problem, you can see them working here behind me now, they're flattening out these ramps. Therefore, the truck should not get quite as much hang time, but it should make for some extra fast racing.
You know, you talked about Bennett Clark and the Clydesdale, Chris. Last week, that terrible wreck that tore off the back wheel and lots more damage to the truck. You can see it right there still being up and being worked on. And, of course, Bennett just coming off that bad luck in Dallas when Marvin Smith and Wildhair smacked into him, knocked him over, and really tore up a lot of the truck. Brand new body, new pink paint job, and more problems for Bennett Clark and Clydesdale. Chris Chapman had a chance earlier to talk with Bennett Clark.
Bennett, what type of damage did Clydesdale sustain when that back wheel came off last week?
Well, I broke the flange loose from the housing, which is part of the housing. It broke my steering ram that turns the back tires, broke my shocks loose. All my shocks are broke loose. A lot of the bolts pulled loose. This is major damage.
I also noticed some body damage. I understand you think that some of this could be a result of the flip in Dallas.
Yeah, that's what I think. From the way the brake is right here, I would consider major possibility from the flip.
So what's the future for the Clydesdale now?
Well, we're going to try to get it back together and try to get in the race today. I don't know if I can run full bore tonight or not, but we'll go back home, straighten up the body, put the body back on, and we'll run it wide open again.
Good luck to you, Bennett.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Tuff Trax is brought to you by the Nintendo Entertainment System. Nintendo, now you're playing with power. Beginning with qualifying on the figure eight course at Louisville Motor Speedway, Louisville, Kentucky, rated as one of the finest NASCAR sanctioned facilities in the country. But boy, I'll tell you, they're seeing some great monster truck racing action right here in Derby City. And Star Monster, Chris Tuffley out of Syracuse, New York, is a truck that probably is not made for this course, Army. It's a, I guess if you could use the term, it's a stiff, kind of rigid truck, and this is the kind of track that's probably going to really beat him up.
Well, the Star Monster will go good on a straight course. The short wheelbase is not conducive to the turns they got to make the truck will look stiff. You can see it right now. The chirping of the wheel, the tires biting, letting go, biting, letting go. Plus, he runs with small engine. He runs what they call a small block Chevrolet. So he's giving away about 400 horsepower, but this kid's not afraid to drive it. Oh, look at that. He's staying after it, but, you know, he's giving these guys a big jump on him.
Boy, he got a rough ride at the end of that jump, and he's lost power, apparently, trying to complete the run.
Well, he didn't get a chance to run last week. He was really anxious. They worked all week long. Boy, it'd be a shame if he won't make the first round call.
Star Monster, well, he's got it fired back up, so at least he should be able to complete the run and get a qualifying time. Here comes Chris Tuffley again.
He's just having fun right now. Time wasn't a factor here. It was just he wanted to get a good flight out of it.
So he should be safely into the first round, a legal run. Certainly not setting the world on fire at 54.19.
Remember, last week, quick time was a 39 seconds. You got to keep that in mind.
Again, up in the air for the Star Monster. Watch the end, though. Look at this beating he takes.
That's the reason in a four-wheel drive vehicle, you have to power out. If he would have let off the throttle, he would have flipped the truck. The youngster did some heads-up driving right there.
Chris Tuffley, Star Monster. We'll see him again in the first round. And here comes the one they came to see of the TNT monster trucks. They call him the most popular truck in the world, and there's no doubt about it. Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Certainly, Dennis Anderson has been having his share of rough luck on the TNT monster truck challenge, and this figure eight course was rough on him a week ago. Chris Chapman talked to him about the course earlier.
Well, you know, we ran this track here last year. It's a pretty fun track. I like it. The thing of it is if you take off on the inside lane, you think you're way ahead of the other guy, but the lane changes and it swaps around. If you get out of the truck any, you let out of it because you think you're so far ahead, and all of a sudden they zoom by you. So you got to stay after it pretty good. But it's a real neat track, and I like it as long because you don't have to take off hard with the truck and worry about ripping something out, taking off. And you got a lot of, you got a lot of catching up room. It's going to be a fun track.
You were having some problems down in Dallas. Do you think that you've corrected those, and what type of different adjustments have you made on the digger for this track?
Well, see, just like the course in Dallas, it was kind of short, and we had to come off the line real hard. We're on some real sticky clay. The truck bit real hard and stripped the gearbox out. Out here, I don't have to worry about taking off, but so hard, because like I say, once the truck gets ahead of you, you got enough room to run him down.
Very interesting thoughts from Dennis Anderson about running this figure eight course at Louisville Motor Speedway. And I'll tell you, he's ready to go, and he makes a great point. One of the few places that they take off on asphalt, at least so far this year, because they've been inside so much, they've been running on dirt and clay.
Well, and also he doesn't have to abuse the truck. He just made reference to inside and outside. Scott Stevens runs the outside lane with the King Krunch truck lifting the front wheel. You notice he's going hard. He'll go to the short side for the second half. Gravedigger is not really attacking this track. I think he's just trying to stay alive to get into the first round, Scott Douglas.
I think you're absolutely right. After the breakage last week, who could blame him? The Auto Value King Krunch solidly in front. Now, a Dennis Anderson that we're used to is going to really hit it hard here. But if he's watching and just trying to get into that first round and playing it smart, he may just play it conservatively and get the run finished.
You got to remember, they've had a week to think it over. Anderson has thought long and hard. He will be there in the first round.
He's going to make a run this week around. He saved the truck sub, safely qualified. Auto Value King Krunch with a better time. But Dennis Anderson should be primed and ready to go in the first round. And the times look considerably quicker from a week ago because 42.66 wasn't bad last week, but Gravedigger didn't get after it, and Krunch is well under last week's fast time.
Look at the bottom of the Bigfoot truck. You notice black smoke coming out. That's an indication the motor is too fast. They got to keep wrapping the engine. Now, they don't have the stall problem they had last week. It looks like they figured that out. We've got a good race going between a Dodge and a Ford.
But Andy Brass will come off with her. Look out for Mopar Magic. He left his lane, but he didn't phase Andy Brass a bit. It did not alter Bigfoot's course. Brass tucks it in and is having a good qualifying run. He was fast qualifier a week ago. Maybe again, because this run looks good.
Look at the chassis. It's working good. It's hard to believe these guys, Justin do on this particular track. And Brass is showing he's playing hardball today in the bluegrass.
Coming out next is last week's winner to qualify, the Equalizer Chevrolet. And you know, in a lot of our conversation about Bigfoot earlier, I think, Army, that we were a little remiss in not talking about the great runs this rookie made a week ago in winning in his first time ever turning left and right in a monster truck.
Well, Scott, you know, he also took the lead in the World Championship point chase. This kid is the real Louisville slugger now.
Bigfoot's time, a scintillating one, 33.66 new fast time. Hey, we talk about the new kid in the Equalizer. The old kids around this week. David Morris has been in the pit, and Chris Chapman got a chance to talk to him.
Here's someone we haven't seen in a while, David Morris, the 1989 champion of the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. And the reason we haven't seen him in a while is something I think no one's really certain of. What's going on, David?
Well, got a fussy one today. Me and the owner of the truck I was driving just kind of started having too many disagreements, so I decided it'd be better if we just kind of separated. That'd work out a whole lot better.
And what's this you're holding? Tell us about this.
New one. She's 8 weeks old. Name's Mallory Kristen.
David, do you miss driving the Equalizer?
Yeah, I miss being around all the guys and racing. It's a lot of fun, but hopefully, I don't know when, but hopefully one of these days I can have my own truck and race.
Well, we'll watch for that. Chris Chapman maybe got us another scoop. I'll tell you, if David Morris comes back, everybody's going to sit up and take notice.
Yeah, you know, it was good seeing him again, and he wishes Greg Holbrook all the luck in the world. He's got a lot of pride in this Tennessee operation. Holbrook, speaking of Tennessee, we got a Tennessee Ford going against a Tennessee Chevrolet.
You want to look to the, hey, John Moore's all over the place, but if you want to look to the future, how about the day when David Morris brings out a truck to race the Equalizer? That'll be something. Right now, it's all Equalizer with Greg Holbrook winning, and John Moore, I don't know, this is a figure-8 course, but John, I think, is driving a 3 or a 10 or a 13. I don't know.
It's a loop-de-loop for John Moore today.
Equalizer coming up with an outstanding run in Greg Holbrook, and I don't know if John Moore was anything close to a legal run, but he does finish. Wow. Well, they give him a time, and it's not a bad one, 39.89.
That would have been quick time a week ago.
Back with the superstars of monster truck racing right here on Tuff Trax. It's the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. We're qualifying on the figure-8 at Louisville Motor Speedway. Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher side by side with Kid Rarig's Thunder Chicken.
Porter comes out working a low lane. Gary Porter is just a good driver. He doesn't look like he's working Chuck Harley at all, Scott. He's looking awfully strong. A good jump.
Little bounce at the end, but he's in pretty good shape. This looks like a nice run for the Crusher. Again, the time to beat, though, is down around 33 seconds.
Okay, now the Carolina Crusher, he learned something on that previous jump. He will adjust when he goes into the next round. He'll adjust that truck and try to get a different angle of jump right there. A little bit of a bounce cost him. What's the time, Scott?
He needed to be a 33.66 to take over fast time, and he's not able to do that, but it's a good time nonetheless. 35.29. That puts him second fastest at the moment in the Carolina Crusher. The Clydesdale will come out. We documented his problems earlier, and look at this. Looks like half a truck, Army.
Well, Scott, it is half a truck. The bed's completely gone. And you got to remember, that's a brand new bed. We're looking at a brand new paint job. There were some graphics that were to be put on the truck. They were not able to get it together, and I'm kind of glad because it would have torn the graphics all the way off. We're going to be looking for a new Clydesdale. He's got a positive attitude, but right now, he's got his hands full with the big, bad micro machine.
Kurt Fischer, former world champion mud racer, now in the big monster truck. Let me ask you about all that's been stripped away from the Clydesdale. Army, is he going to have any chance at running any kind of a race? I mean, is there a lot of back-end weight missing, or is that just kind of superficial?
No, it is superficial. That's a fiberglass replica body, so really, he weighs about 25 or 30 pounds less than he did before, and in these vehicles, that will mean nothing whatsoever. It's going to be a good run. I look for him to take it easy. I don't think he's going to try to abuse the equipment. Meanwhile, Fischer is trying to learn how to attack with the micro machine. Let's see what he can do. Fischer on the right, Clydesdale on the left.
Micro Machine, if you'll remember a week ago, was running very strong and had seemed to figure the angles on this track pretty well, but got disqualified for cutting one angle too well, and that was going through the grass in the far turn.
Scott Douglas, I just noticed something. The Micro Machine was having the same problems that Bigfoot did last week. That being the engine has a tendency to stammer a little bit when they leave the starting line.
Again, Micro Machine was completely in the grass. We'll see if TNT allows that run as Clydesdale, as you mentioned, taking it nice and easy. Micro Machine really having a lot of trouble staying out of that end grass, which is supposed to be off the course.
Well, John Bream has picked this young man to drive this truck. He's got all the confidence in the world in him. The only thing he needs is the same thing the Equalizer driver needed, just time in the seat.
So Micro Machine gets a pretty good run. We understand it is being ruled a legal run for Kurt Fischer and the Micro Machine. Not incredibly fast at 40.72. Clydesdale at 50.03. Both safely in the field, however. We'll see him in the first round. You talk about a guy who was walking wounded a week ago. Mike Wine and the Outlaw has been a real busy camper trying to get this truck ready to go. He won some races last week, but he was badly injured most of the time.
You know, I'll tell you the personality of this guy. If he was a surfer, he'd be the guy that runs around with the toes on the nose. That means runs on the ragged edge, because he has done it ever since he bought into Louisville. He would not quit. Look at this. He's got an intake problem, and he's still hammering on that Ford.
But Army, he looks a lot stronger than he did last week.
Yeah, but when the heat comes in the engine is when it'll have a tendency to go away on him. Wine is just hard on as hard as he can.
I want you to listen to something, though. Listen for just a second. That sounds like an engine this week instead of something just pinging and knocking like a week ago. That's a good run, Army.
Awfully good run, yeah. Wine will not roll over for him. If you're going to beat him, you got to punch him in the nose.
Second fastest qualifying time. Mike Wine and the Outlaw behind only Bigfoot in the qualification. This week's Power Drive is brought to you by Nintendo, bringing cheers from the crowd at every turn. Whenever you feel the need to show what you're made of, reach for Nintendo. Now you're playing with power. Mike Wine's Outlaw Ford is the second fastest qualifier. We'll be right back with more monster truck racing on Tuff Trax. The biggest names in motorsport, the most awesome machinery anywhere, come your way each week on Tuff Trax. Battling for the World Championship on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. You can't get it much closer. Equalizer by 6 over the Bigfoot Ford. Auto Value King Krunch is third. Carolina Crusher looking pretty good, and Awesome Kong rounds out the top 5. USA 1 is racing this week in Pueblo, Colorado, and making up ground. So is Nightlight. Greg Digger has dropped to 8th, then is Buffalo Tremor and the Outlaw rounding out the top 10. But Tremor is out of action this week, and the Outlaw will probably pass him this week at Louisville.
Everybody's chasing the points. The payoff comes at the end of the year, and every run is important. Scott Stevens looks good, comes out. He'll be running the high side in the first half. Auto Value Cobra Seat Special. On it. Look at Bennett Clark. He's on the inside. He's running a good race right now, and Stevens is starting to unload the chassis.
Let's see how they hit the cars. I don't think Bennett Clark can lead. He hasn't got anything to jump for.
Clark will not attack the cars, but keep an eye on Stevens. Scott Stevens may be preparing for the next round to see how hard he goes to the corner. By how hard, I want you to watch the left front wheel. There you go. He's running it hard, Scott.
The Auto Value King Krunch Special knows he's got to win, and he's going to save the equipment. We'll see Scott Stevens coming back in the quarterfinal round of competition as he gets the win over the Clydesdale.
He was setting the chassis on the flat part. He knows what it'll do in the air. He's just getting it to handle on the ground.
Scott Stevens and the Auto Value King Krunch with the win, and now Bennett Clark's going to take Clydesdale back to Powder Springs, Georgia, and he's got a lot of work ahead of him, but he plans on rebuilding the truck and coming back strong. Army's going over to talk with Scott Stevens after a first-round victory in the Auto Value King Krunch Special.
Scott, I'm kind of surprised you and Andy Brass both come out on what could have been an easy run, and both of you run the trucks real hard. You look like you actually did some damage to yours.
We didn't do it no good, that's for sure, yeah. And I needed to do some hard runs. I didn't do no good qualifying runs last night and went out early. We needed to do every hard run we could, and I knew I got Andy next round. He's going to be real tough. But Yeah, we hurt the suspension again. So.
You don't seem like the same Scott Stevens. You seem like you're tired, or there's just something missing in your voice right now. What is it? You tired, or the heat, or what?
It's just a little intimidated by the speeds we're running this week. I hadn't got comfortable with them yet. And, you know, last the rounds are coming around, but they're not going to come around quick enough, it don't look like.
Scott Stevens talking about the fact that he doesn't like the speeds on this course. Chris Chapman got a chance to get over with Bennett Clark. Gravedigger's dark cloud may have moved to the Clydesdale.
So, Bennett, tell us about this dark cloud that keeps looming overhead.
It's getting bad. I mean, if it's not one thing, you get out there, you run, you tear something up, then of all things, you get out there and forget to put fuel in one. I mean, you know, somebody's going to get the luck changed to them. They got to get some good luck coming toward me. It can't get any worse.
Bennett Clark struggling along, but the Clydesdale will keep on coming back.
Hey, Scott, something that Scott Stevens said to me when he walked away, he said, Army, what I'm talking about intimidating, he said you can actually see the eyes of the spectators you go around this course, and that's affecting these drivers. They're aware that they're running towards the people.
Again, though, it's not affected Andy Brass or Greg Holbrook, and they remain the guys to beat. But here are two trucks with a shot at him. Let's see who wins this race. Carolina Crusher against the Micro Machines. Maybe the most even matchup of the first round.
One thing you notice is both trucks literally are attacking the track. Porter comes over first. Then the Micro Machine. No, he skies it. He's in trouble, Scott.
Oh, he gets it down. Can he get it stopped off the wall? No, he's into the wall. The Carolina Crusher smacked the wall. Kurt Fischer and the Micro Machine is going to get an easy win, but it's a run that the folks at Louisville Motor Speedway will never forget. The wheel-standing Carolina Crusher. Man, we're seeing it all in Louisville, Kentucky.
Now, these people in Louisville, like I said, they bought a ticket. They're going to see a war.
Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher. He's checking the truck. He's checking the wall. After just an unbelievable wheel stand. Here it is again. And watch him get up on the back wheel and stay there.
Well, normally you got to throttle out. At this point, he's got to make a decision. Go or no go. Very wisely backs on the throttle. Shuts it down. Some good driving. Porter is just a good monster truck driver, Scott.
He hit the wall, but I don't think enough to do a lot of serious damage. And then Kurt Fischer went on to get the win. Here they come across. Man, Gary Porter's going to wheel stand it right into your living room. Watch this.
Camera angle, America. Take a ride.
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
And the guy standing with a camera got a great shot.
The winner is Kurt Fischer. Army's got him over there right now.
Well, Kurt, you've been in the winner's circle many times before in the World Championship Mud Race Division, but it seems like you're getting a handle on this monster truck race, and you're doing a good job.
Well, Army, we're having a little trouble with the shock system on the truck, and it's caused it to get a little bit out of control whenever we go over the cars, but as soon as we get that settled down, there's not a truck here we can't beat.
You and John Bream and Bob Bream have got the experience in all the motorsports. It's just kind of like getting all the dice to fall at the right time in the same direction.
That's right. We sent 2 trucks to New York this weekend, and we brought the big one down here to see what we could do against these guys. And we're just putting it all together, and once we get it down pat, I'll guarantee you're going to see us in the winner's circle all the time.
There you hear it from Kurt Fischer. And look at that, Carolina Crusher went ahead and finished the run while Army was doing the interview with him.
You got to remember, they bring back losers in this round. He could come back.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out about the entire wild run in that wheel stand. And, you know, up in the air, he had to make a decision that goes against what he normally does. Normally, when you're in trouble, you throttle out. He had to break it and settle it down.
Gary Porter, first of all, are you okay?
I'm fine.
I've never seen you do that. That had to be an eerie feeling.
That was one of the wildest rides I've ever took in the truck. You know, I'm fine, the truck's fine. You know, I was wanting to stay in it as long as I could, and when the front end was up so high, I couldn't see exactly where I was going, and I knew I had to be getting close to the wall, so I let out of it and hit the brakes to bring it down, and I was right on the wall, and I couldn't stay out of it.
Is there a chance that you might get to come back to a brake rule or a quick loser rule or something like that? Because these people in Louisville, Kentucky, son, they just fell in love with you on that run.
I think I can. That's why I wanted to go ahead and finish the course in case, you know, a truck was to break or something, so I could still come back as a fast loser, hopefully.
Does that give you any more confidence as a driver when you know you can go through something like that? I mean, do you believe in the truck more now? You believe in your ability as a driver more now?
I really believe in the truck after hitting the wall that hard and was able to, you know, to crank it up and keep on and finish the course.
Hopefully we'll see you in the next round later today.
Okay, thank you.
You know where we gotta be going now after that run. Yes, indeed. It's time for the Crunch of the Week.
Hold on to your seats for the amazing Crunch of the Week, brought to you by Micro Machines, the #1 colossally collectible vehicles in the world. If it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing.
You're in the seats in the turn at Louisville Motor Speedway and watch this truck come at you.
Walking the dog.
Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. That's about as wild as it gets. The Crusher on the Crunch of the Week. The superstars of monster truck racing are lining up in Louisville, Kentucky for first round competition, and it is the Grave Digger ready to do battle with the defending world championship truck, the Equalizer, and its new driver, Greg Holbrook. Man, oh man, this ought to be a dandy. Dennis Anderson has got to be kind of in a quandary right now. How hard does he go in the truck? Every time he's gone hard lately, he's hurt himself, but it's not like him to not give it everything he's got.
God, I tell you what, I am not looking for a hard run. I'm sorry, I know it's not what you want to see, but the Grave Digger is not a... There you go, exactly.
He's dying. That's not a hard run. He's just dying.
Meanwhile, Holbrook trying to get what we were talking about earlier, time in the seat. Every run, he learns something. Look at this. He attacks the track, comes over, keeps it close to the car. Now watch him. He'll really start to work on a flat tire. Meanwhile, Anderson and the Grave Digger motoring through.
They might meet at the X. They might meet at the intersection.
This could get spectacular.
Oh, no. That Grave Digger lets off of it. Equalizer finishes the run. Well, you're talking about figure 8 racing. What makes a figure 8 stock car race is cars coming at each other in the X, but it wasn't designed for monsters to do that.
That would have made Andy Vertrees world renowned if he had the first monster truck figure 8
collision. Yeah, man. All right, here we go around. Dennis Anderson, the Grave Digger, just doesn't seem to have it. He'll come off the turn and complete the run. Hey, he's picking up RPMs.
Oh, he's going to show off. Selling some T-shirts right there. Pieces coming out from underneath it.
Stuff flying apart.
Like we say, Anderson has one truck only. He's trying to do, I believe, too many things with that one truck, and it's costing him in points.
That may cost him next week because it looked like things were flying out from underneath of it again. He puts on a great show here at the end, but what did he do to his truck? He gained nothing by this except putting on a show, and it looks like he cost himself a lot. We'll find out how much it cost him. Chris Chapman has got him in the pits. Chris?
Dennis, let me ask you this. It's the same dark cloud that's following Bennett Clark around following you?
I think so. I think my cloud is following Bennett.
What in the world happened this time?
Well, I think when I come off the line, I came off kind of hard and it rung a rear axle. So I just eased off up until the end of the course. I just skied it out. I had to go for one more air ride before I put it on the trailer.
Yeah, you did. We noticed that. Why did you do that?
Well, I done it for the fans, really. I mean, it was really a pretty bum run, and I figured that if I had my moment built up, I could get some good air out of it, and that's what they're here to see.
Dennis Anderson, always the true sport. Good luck to you, and the race is coming up in Richmond.
All right, thanks.
You know, if I can make one point off what he said, that is why Dennis Anderson is so popular, despite the fact that lately he hasn't been winning that much. He hasn't lost much popularity, and that's because he's still, if he's not going to win, he is going to entertain his fans.
And they buy T-shirts and hats with Grave Digger on it. That's what he calls a T-shirt run. Speaking of a run, here we go. Star Monster going after no problem.
GMC and Ford. Star Monster of the GMC out of New York. The Ford from Tennessee. John Moore and no problem.
Two of the shortest wheelbase trucks on the circuit running side by side. They're going to hit the jump side by side. Ford, Chevrolet, Ford goes first. John Moore. Now Moore has the inside for the second half.
The GMC trying to come back on the outside. Chris Tuffley and Star Monster, but he's given ground, and John Moore looks good on the inside. The no problem Ford Bronco, and it's a little smoother run for John than his qualifying attempt.
460 cubic inches. Oh, but look at the front end. He's got a transmission cooler coming off the front and drive shafts coming off the back. It looked like an easy run, but he did a whole lot of damage on an no problem vehicle.
Man, he really spiked that front end when he got up in the air. Watch it again here. This is his first jump across the car, and he looked good on this one.
Everything looks good. Now, somewhere the transmission cooler comes out. It falls out in the front of the truck. There it is. On the right side, you can see it hanging down. He's lost a drive shaft. Man, he's just trying to get that rascal home.
Ended up finishing the run and getting the win, but obviously repairs in the pit area for John Moore, no problem. The Outlaw-Mike Wine, surprisingly fast in qualifying, takes on Kid Rarig and the Thunder Chicken. Let's watch it.
Mike Wine is running a new truck. He's running an old engine. When he gets a new engine in a new truck, he's definitely going to be a player. But right now, look at the chassis. You notice the chirping, the bite. Watch it.
I'll tell you, Mike struggled all last week, but he is really looking strong today.
Mike Wine, anything you put under him, he's going to drive it as hard as he can.
Now he's on the outside. The Thunder Chicken's got the shorter way around the rest of the way. And Chicken is still running strong.
There's that bite I was telling you about. A little bit of bounce on the Outlaw. He's got to overcome it. Look at this. They're going to line up side by side for the final. Outlaw Ford.
By a length. What a great race. The victory going to Mike Wine and the Outlaw Ford. But Kid Rarig and the Thunder Chicken kind of unheralded coming in this week. He ran a great run against the second fast qualifier. Here comes the finish, Army.
Kid Rarig used that inside to perfection. Now, you know, Kid Rarig is kind of a low-profile guy, but he goes for that pay window a whole lot on this TNT circuit.
You know what made the difference? He was a little bit higher in the air than Outlaw, and Wine got down just a little bit quicker.
I messed up on that one. I forgot to tighten my belt. Oh, kid. No more.
What a race.
Yeah. I messed up that time, though. I was sitting at the line, I was watching the gauges and worrying about everything else I did. I put the lap belts on and I forgot to pull them down. Came around the first track and I'm trying to pull down one. I went around the second time and I looked down to pull it down, and next thing you know, I was in the air in the cars, and that got a little rough. I'm gonna pull them tight before I even go out there next time.
I wonder what the time was on that. You all were just nose to nose out there. Did you know you had to pull it out there at the end?
Yeah, well, not as sure. Not until I came around the corner and I seen him in the corner of my eye. Then I know I had to just get on it. Just go for the cars.
Forget the belts, go for the cars.
Oh, yeah, go for the cars. Why not?
We've got him down to a round of 8, the quarterfinals, coming up next on Tuff Trax. Tuff Trax is brought to you by the Nintendo Entertainment System. Nintendo, now you're playing with power. Scott Douglas, Army Armstrong, and Chris Chapman welcoming you back to Louisville Motor Speedway, Louisville, Kentucky, as we go to the quarterfinals. Look at this, the biggest feud in monster truck racing about to be renewed. Bigfoot against the Auto Value King Krunch. Then we're going to see the Micro Machines come out against the fast loser, the Thunder Chicken, who ran strong in the first round. The Equalizer will take on the Carolina Crusher. They battled for the World Championship a year ago. And then John Moore and No Problem will meet the Outlaw in an all-Ford showdown. But here it is, the feud of the day in monster truck racing. Bigfoot having to run the Bigfoot Ford when they want to run the Bigfoot number 8. And Auto Value King Krunch, the one truck that really does a lot of talking against Bigfoot's new truck.
Once again, Bigfoot standard just a little bit. The brass back in the throttle, trying to reel Stevens in. Look at Stevens, he's yanking that right front wheel. Man, no love lost right here, Scott Douglas.
Andy Brass skies again and almost sweeps the entire run of cars. Here they go to the turn, side by side.
Look how hard the chassis are working. Both trucks lifting the front wheel. Stevens has the back on the throttle. He heads toward the crowd. Bigfoot working the inside.
It's going to be Bigfoot with the win if he can hold her straight. Andy Brass. Look out. What's that? Now the sheet metal is coming apart.
Hard landing. Hard. These guys are really getting slapped around in those trucks. Stevens is stunned right now. Scott Stevens is having problems watching from the camera angle. I believe it may have knocked him out just for a second. Watch the impact. Landing is like a 50-mile-an-hour head-on collision. He just took it on the chin right there.
Auto Value King Krunch kind of disintegrating. The winner, Bigfoot with Andy Brass. He's with Army.
Andy, anytime you and Scott get together, it's just a literal street fight out there, isn't it? Neither one of you are going to give either one an inch.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it was close running this round, but the Ford acclaimed Bigfoot was running pretty good. You know, I know we got up a little high in the lane, but at the same time, I think Scott might have been a little bit low. But like I say, it's just kind of, we're friends outside off the track, but once we get on the track, it's dog eat dog out here.
I didn't notice the miss that time. It seemed like you drove the truck out of the hole as compared to just trying to leap it out. Are you trying to dial the horsepower into it and stay away from the miss in the engine?
Well, that's true. You know, we've been just easing into it a little bit. You know, we ended up putting a new BDS blower on it. It's been doing us a real good job, and I think right now we're just getting too much air to it. We don't have the pulleys to gear it down a little bit, so I just kind of got to feather in and slowly feed the fuel and air to it to make it run.
You're seeing the critical part of the race. Bigfoot came a little high, but it didn't look like that had any effect on this. For some reason, Scott Stevens lost it and almost hit the wall. Chris Chapman's going to talk to him and find out if he did hit that wall.
Scott, you were definitely in the race, but it looked like you hit the wall coming off that last corner.
Yeah, steering quit when we went over the cars, and I don't know what happened. Just got going a little too fast, too close to the wall there, and the steering started working again. I thought I had a shot in there at the finish line because Andy's truck really wasn't working that good. It just didn't work. Maybe I should have hit the wall. It wouldn't have done as much damage to our truck. But the truck's running better now, and not so intimidated about the speed, and about had everything we needed, but it's all too late now.
Micro Machines lining up again on the far outside. Kurt Fischer, that gives him an angle to the turn as he races Thunder Chicken.
Now, Thunder Chicken, if you got to pull for an underdog in today's competition, it's got to be the Thunder Chicken, because Skid Rarig down on horsepower, but it just keeps hammering away. And look at this. He's making life miserable for the Micro Machine right now.
Chicken's got the lead, but now Micro Machine's got the inside groove, and he's looking good. Kurt Fischer.
Yeah, Chicken goes dead coming off of the jump. Fischer's going to go to the next round, it looks like, Scott.
The Micro Machine looking strong, and the Thunder Chicken looking dead in the water. Kurt Fischer wisely sees his opponent is beaten, will ease over the car, save the equipment, and go on into the semifinals. Micro Machine getting the victory over the Thunder Chicken. Kurt Fischer out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Thunder Chicken is refired, and he'll go ahead and finish out the run. But he is beaten by the Micro Machine here this afternoon. Your winner, the Micro Machine, Kurt Fischer, and Army Armstrong standing by with him right now.
Kurt, when you leave the starting line, the truck has a hesitation in it. It's almost like it's going to stop and then it picks back up again. What's causing that?
Well, Army, we're having a little trouble. I think the fuel filter's getting stopped up. It started the very first round, and they're running the round so fast today, we just don't have time to get it all apart and get it cleaned up, so we're just hoping for the best. If we don't have shock problems this time, we're going to pull it apart and see if that's what's wrong.
How about the Micro Machines? Everything else looking good? Just that little fuel problem?
Yeah, other than that, it's running great.
We'll see you in that next round.
Thank you, Army.
He looks really quick. I like the way that truck is running. Here comes the two trucks that battled for the World Championship 1 year ago, side by side. The World Champion Equalizer and the defending runner-up for the World Championship, the Carolina Crusher.
When you're looking at her, two different ideas on suspension. The yellow truck, the older suspension, notice how much taller it is than the blue truck. The Equalizer with the rookie driver runs a lower profile, and it seems to work a whole lot better for this kid out of Tennessee. But the North Carolina driver is really making him work for it, Scott.
Let's watch how the Crusher handles his course, because, Army, Gary Porter's not far from decision time. He's close to having a new truck ready, but he loves the way this old truck runs.
I was interested in seeing how he's going to come over that jump after the last round. Hey, look at this. Porter's going to the next round. The Equalizer blows the tire out.
A blown tire sidelines the world champion, and Carolina Crushers in the Final Four.
That will affect the World Championship point standing because Bigfoot is still alive.
What an incredible story today. After skying, wheeling, and almost landing in the fence, Carolina Crusher comes back and will record a victory over the world champ. Let's see if we can see what, there it is. I guess it was that impact right there, or no, there. That's what blew the tire out on the Equalizer. That second hard shot onto the asphalt at Louisville Motor Speedway. And, man, you can't run it like that. Equalizer's done.
I was watching the Crusher to see how he handled it. He drove the same way he has been all day long. You know, he's staying with what got him there. Speaking of what got him there, two Fords side by side. The Outlaw from New Jersey and the Tennessee, no problem.
Boy, you talk about the Comeback of the Week award. A week ago, Outlaw was sputtering and putting around and got a couple of breaks to win races. Today, he has just flat looked strong.
He's looked awfully strong on a very, very hot day. Works the inside of the truck. This Mike Wine kid is good. You're not going to rattle him. The truck is not handled real good. You see it kind of bouncing around, chirping, but he stays after it.
That new Nick Rossi suspension is looking as smooth as this looked, too. You know, he was a finalist in Dallas 1 week on the three-way course. Look out, John Moore!
Moore just about disqualified. He does disqualify himself. The Outlaw will move to the next round. But John Moore's not quitting. Look at this. John Moore's going after him.
He's not worried about a DQ. Here he comes. Outlaw's got him beat against John Moore. Turned that figure 8 into a 9 or a 10, but he gave it a wild run. Mike Wine wins it nonetheless in the Outlaw. So Wine has made it to the Final Four. His next opponent will be the Carolina Crusher. You're going to see no problem getting in some trouble here, and that's what ended up costing him. Chris Chapman's in the pits with Mike Wine, and she gives him the word that the Outlaw's next opponent, Gary Porter, and the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. Let's see what Mr. Wine thinks about that matchup.
Me and Carolina Crushers only ran against each other 3 times. All 3 times I've come in second by 2/100ths of a second. Today I'm not even going to come in 2/100ths of a second. Today Carolina Crusher's going to be behind me 2/100ths of a second.
It's time for the semifinal round on Tuff Trax. Micro Machines, the new Chevy, the Bigfoot 4 Ford. Here they go.
Andy Brass figured out that start line. He's dialing in a horsepower, so he doesn't have the miss he's had the earlier rounds. Definitely to his advantage. Look for Brass to go to the final, making it look easy as he goes to the short side of the course now.
Oh, Bigfoot across the cars for the first time. Andy Brass turns it back in once again, and he is looking good. The Bigfoot Ford is running strong. Best qualifier today, and looking very quick on this semifinal run.
Like we said, this truck actually started its life about 1.5 miles away at the Louisville Ford truck plant. Wouldn't it be ironic if it took the win here?
Driving because John Pyan is injured, Andy Brass is making Bigfoot 4 not necessarily run like Bigfoot 8, but he's driving it with the same aggressiveness, and I think he's taking a lot more of a beating than he's used to taking in the Bigfoot 8 truck.
Well, I'll guarantee you that. He's getting slashed around in the truck. Look at him whip back and forth. He'll tell you that, too.
But he's not backing off because of the different truck. He is running strong. Chevy and Ford matching up again. It's the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet and the Outlaw Ford. This should be a dandy.
The man who should not be here is the Outlaw Ford of Wine. We told you a minute ago, if he were a surfer, he'd run with the toes on the nose. That means he lets it all hang out, and it's working for him right now. Look at this. He's holding off the Carolina Crusher.
You see Mike Wine mowing over a bunch of cones. The ruling is as long as he doesn't impair the other man or go completely in his lane, you will not be DQ'd for running over cones.
Scott Douglas, you talk about drama. It's going to be a Ford final in Louisville, Kentucky, as Wine's holding off the Carolina Crusher. Then the motor starts to go away. He's going to make it.
The Outlaw wins in the semifinal. He defeats the Carolina Crusher. And with 2 big Ford plants in this town, it's 2 big Fords in the Monster Smash Final. Stretching the advantage coming down the chute. Wine's in great shape. Bigfoot coming back on the inside.
Brass is trying to work him hard on the inside.
Something's wrong with the Outlaw.
Oh, a clean cut. A killed engine. Something killed the engine. You see the smoke coming out.
Bigfoot wins it as the Outlaw looked like he might get the victory, but goes dead in the water. Outlaw is completely dead.
An electrical system failure somewhere. It completely stopped that engine and then brought it back to life, but too late.
Here it is. Look, Outlaw's in great shape here. He comes up okay. He bounced okay. He's ready to go. And somewhere between these 2 turns, the engine died.
The telltale sign is white smoke. That's an indication the engine was shut off and then brought back on. And it'll blow a head gasket every time that happens. But look at Andy Brass coming after him, and Bigfoot. That guy was going bear hunt with a switch, and he got him.
Talked about how aggressive Andy Brass was in that truck, and it pays off as he is now the new TNT World Championship points leader, and Brass is doing it in the Bigfoot 4 truck. Equalizer now second, and you see the rest of the top 10. USA 1 made up some ground this week, but he's still outside of the top 5. Outlaw has now moved into the number 9 spot. Whoa, what a great week of action at Louisville Motor Speedway, Louisville, Kentucky. It's always the best when you see the TNT monster trucks right here on Tuff Trax.